In the headlines, 2 soldiers feared killed by terrorists in Katsina. Elders Forum unveils Northern agenda ahead of 2023 elections. Plateau court acquits ex-Governor Jang of alleged 6.3 billion naira corruption charges. And on the foreign scene, mosque blast kills at least 18 in Afghanistan. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. We begin in Katsina, where 2 soldiers are feared to have been killed and 2 hospitalized, while 2 went missing when terrorists laid ambush on Shimfit-Ajibir Feeder Road last Wednesday. Among the suspected missing soldiers is the officer in charge of the formation. Eyewitness account revealed that the 2 wounded soldiers are currently receiving medical attention at the Federal Teaching Hospital in Katsina. The other brave soldiers on the armored personnel carrier who escaped unhurt are said to have engaged the terrorists in a serious gun battle. Unfortunately, the terrorists escaped with 1 woman who was among the people that are being escorted to buy foodstuff in Jibia by the military personnel. These soldiers were said to have been using the only APC to escort residents to and from Shimfita village to buy foodstuff. In a telephone conversation, a resident of Shimfita village who confided in Daily Trust told Abdullahi Yamadi that the terrorists were suspected to have detonated an explosive device which caused serious damage to the armored personnel carrier. All efforts to reach the public relations officer of the 17th Brigade in Katsina proved abortive, as he did not respond to several calls put to him by Trust TV. The chairman of the Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, Professor Ango Abdullahi, says the North will participate in all political and electoral activities as equals and with respect to other Nigerians who respect them. The elder statesman stated this at a public lecture in Kaduna. The report.
The lecture was organized by the Center for Leadership Development and Research in collaboration with Arewa Youth Alliance for Good Governance and the Northern Elders Forum. Speakers at the lecture dwelt on the state of the nation and the 2023 general election. The chairman Northern Elders Forum, Professor Ango Abdullahi, while delivering his speech, said the country is in turmoil.
Our country as a whole is in a state of turmoil, if I may use the expression. I don't mind being quoted using that expression because the country is in turmoil now.
On the 2023 election, the elder statesman said the North is yet to have candidates.
I'm not being fully informed in terms of who is who and who is that who and what he wants to do, not for me, but for society and for the country. What we are being bombarded with are posters. Posters don't speak.
Nigeria was met with the unfortunate situation of withdrawal of subsidy to fertilizer, a critical input of agriculture.
This country is in the ICU. When a patient, I know I'm a doctor, when a patient is in the ICU, you do not call a rookie. You need an experienced hand.
At another public discourse organized in Kaduna by Arewa Movement for Good Governance, the vices bedeviling the country and the solutions were discussed. Keynote speaker Usman Bigaja said the only way for Nigeria to get out of the wood is to have credible leadership.
Situation today, and we need to get out of this place. And the way to do so is to put our heads together and do what other countries who have found themselves in similar situations have done before. And that is to focus on development and to produce the credible leadership that is required to lead development.
Unfortunately, today, the same northern Nigeria is hit by insecurity, corruption, and all forms of violence that has relegated the northern part of Nigeria, that is making northern part of Nigeria not to appear relevant again.
The event is coming at a time when electioneering campaign for the 2023 election draws near, and the northern electorates are searching for credible leaders who will help the region tackle insecurity that hinders development in the region. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal has declared Muhammad Al-Kali, candidate of the People's Redemption Party PRP, winner of the by-election for Jos North Bassa Federal Constituency. In their verdict on Friday, the court held that the petitioners proved their case beyond reasonable doubt. The court also nullified the certificate of return earlier issued to Musa Aga of the People's Democratic Party, who was declared winner of the election in February. The PDP candidate was declared the winner of the Saturday by-election for Jos North Bassa Federal Constituency by the Independent National Electoral Commission. 11 political parties contested the February 26th by-election to fill the position left by Haruna Maitala of the APC, who died in a motor accident in April 2021. And the need for youth to galvanize their numerical strength and channel their energies into a political force that will enthrone the right leadership in 2023 has been emphasized. This comes as the nation braces up for the commencement of political campaigns ahead of the elections. More on that subsequently. And still talking politics, former Governor of Plateau State, John Ajang, and the former cashier of the office to the Secretary of the Plateau State Government, Yusuf Pam, have been discharged and acquitted of the 6.3 billion naira fraud allegations by the State High Court. Dixon Adama reports that the EFCC had in 2018 accused Jang of diverting 2 billion naira provided by the Central Bank of Nigeria for empowering youth and women on small and medium-scale enterprises, as well as misappropriation and diversion of funds meant for the state universal basic education, among others. In her judgment, however, Justice Dabup said the EFCC could not prove the case of misappropriation, diversion and public funds against the former governor beyond reasonable doubt. The court therefore quashed all 17-count charges leveled against him and the government cashier, saying that it lacked merit. Reacting, Jang's counsel, led by Mike Ezechome, said the victory is well-deserved, adding that Jang remains an asset to the state.
As for that, Senator David John Jang has been discharged and acquitted by the High Court of Plateau State after a 4.5-year trial, which started on the 4th of May 2018 with the counts amended on the 30th of September 2019. So between 4th of May 2018 and today's 2nd of September 2022, Jonah Jang has been going through the ordeal, the harrowing experience of a criminal trial, being prosecuted by the EFCC, has been discharged and acquitted by the court of all the 17-count charge. 17 counts charge. He was discharged and acquitted. So he's a free man. That's the man you were saying stole billions of money. The count found that no one kobo was stolen by this man. That the 2.5 billion naira that CBN gave to Plateau State government was given as a loan, acknowledged and vindicated by the State House of Assembly. Today is a day when justice has been enthroned, but more importantly, today is a day that we must glorify God with full adoration forever, and ever, and ever. Amen. God bless you.
The report of the forensic auditors engaged by the Kwara State Governor has revealed a colossal theft of government money during the 8-year tenure of former Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, totaling 11.9 billion naira. The report also showed that 2 billion naira cash withdrawal, not tied to any project or official expenditure, was made within 8 days in February 2019, barely 1 month to the general election. The report.
Following certain discoveries about the treasury of Kwara State Government, Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak employed the services of a private audit firm to audit the 8-year tenure of his predecessor, Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed. Speaking during the submission of the report to the governor, partner at the SSAC and professionals, Anthony Inemo, revealed that not less than 11.9 billion naira was scattered away between the year 2011 and 2019. The report also revealed that some loans were obtained by the state government during the period, whereas the element of these loans could not be validated. The report suggested to the government to prosecute some individuals and firms indicted in 2-volume report, while other issues are to be referred to an administrative panel of inquiry for some individuals to explain their roles in the infractions.
We recommended to the state government to prosecute certain officers and companies in addition to claiming exemplary damages on the transaction totaling 6 billion. There was also a cash withdrawal within 8 days of about 2 billion in February 2019, which was of interest to the audit. However, no documentation was made available to validate the purpose for which the money was withdrawn.
It just confirms what we've been expecting and alluding to all along, what the state has been going through. Well, we also saw that it has taken a bit of time. I know there were certain deliberate efforts to obstruct your work, and that's why it's taking time. We know you made various complaints about that, and we've tried to push those that were supposed to open the doors for you to make the work easy for you. But well done. Your report will help us put the state in the right direction to deepen transparency and accountability.
Reacting, the former Chief Press Secretary to the former Governor, Wahab Oba, described the allegations as naive and unspecific and generally unfounded, adding that the expenditure during the period under review was properly appropriated and followed due process. He says since they left office more than 3 years ago, the accounts have been properly audited by various auditing agencies and had been certified. He alleged that in coming 6 months to election on the legality or otherwise of the expenditure is an afterthought that is politically motivated.
And at least 1,000 flood victims cut across 13 local government areas in Katsina State on Thursday benefited from relief items distributed by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. The items were handed over to the state government by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Sadia Umar Farooq, in the company of the Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Kabir Ahmed, at the Katsina Native Authority premises. He, however, called on beneficiaries to desist from building structures and water channels and ensure that they clear their drainages and water channels regularly to avert future occurrence. The NEMA DG recalled that the agency had, since before the commencement of this year's seasonal rainfall, issued warning messages across the possible flood risk areas in the Federation for residents to be on alert. And hip-hop artist Panshak Henry Zamani, popularly known as Ice Prince, has been arrested by the police in Lagos for allegedly driving a vehicle without number plates. The singer was also accused of assaulting a police officer who flagged down his car around 3 a.m. on Friday. The Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, who revealed the incident on his Twitter page, said the Oleku crooner threatened to throw the policeman into the river, adding that he would be arraigned Friday. Ice Prince, also known as Ice Prince Zamani, rose to fame after releasing Oleku, one of Nigeria's most remixed songs of all time. His debut album, Everybody Loves Ice Prince, was released in 2011. It was followed by 3 singles, Oleku, Superstar and Juju. Second album, Fire of Zamani, was released in 2013, containing the singles Aboki, More, Gimme That, among others. Meanwhile, the federal government says it will commence repair works on the Ogunbound lane of the Kara Bridge along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway effective Saturday, September 3rd, 2022. The Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Frederick Oladende, in a statement said he received a notification from the Federal Ministry of Works on the ongoing reconstruction works along the Berger Optic axis of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway project for an emergency fixing of the expansion joints that got damaged. The notification explains that the urgent repair work needed to be carried out on 3 of the expansion joints to prevent accidents and vehicular damages. Hence the need to inform the residents and motorists on the outbound Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the Transport Commissioner said on Friday. Oladende said the state government will collaborate with the Federal Road Safety Corps, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority and the Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps to provide adequate diversion and effective traffic management systems during the period of the repair works. You're watching Trust TV News Update. The news continues shortly. Do stay with us.
That's great.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now let's recap our top stories. 2 soldiers feared killed by terrorists in Katsina. And Elders Forum unveils Northern agenda ahead of 2023 elections. And moving on to other news now, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Saidia Farouk, has flagged off a cash grant of 20,000 naira each to 7,000 vulnerable persons in the state for them to either start a business or add to their capital. This is part of the policies of President Muhammadu Buhari's led administration towards eradicating poverty and lifting the lives of poor and vulnerable persons, amounting to over 10 million across the country. The occasion, which took place at the Katsina Government House Banquet Hall, saw the presence of beneficiaries, mostly women, physically challenged persons, as well as disabled persons drawn from the 34 local government areas of the state. While giving a rundown of assorted programs under the National Social Investment Program, she explained that the programs were introduced in 2016 by President Buhari to tackle the issues of poverty, unemployment, and other related ills in society. On his part, the Governor of Katsina State, Aminu Masari, who was represented by the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Tasi Uzango, said since the return of democracy in 1999, there has never been a people-oriented government that is more close to the common man than that of President Buhari, whom he said is committed to the welfare of the average Nigerian. The high cost of house rent in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, has become a source of concern as millions of families find it hard to afford decent homes or pay their yearly rent from annual earnings. The high cost of bills, especially the house rent, is eating up to 80% of annual income of both young and old Nigerians. Nana Mohammed has more on this story.
Families face fights for survival in makeshift homes. while young people spend most of their income paying house rent without an option to save for the future. Every day, the number of people struggling to make a living from makeshift homes is increasing due to the ever-growing inflation. The National Bureau of Statistics says Nigerians' inflation rate increased to 19.64% in July 2022 alone, throwing dozens of families into difficulty. Halima Isa is a petty trader and a mother of 10 who has been living in Abuja for 15 years. She cannot afford to pay for a house and lives in a makeshift shelter made of zinc. I am a petty trader. I sell food by the roadside to support my family income, but we are still struggling with poverty. I pray that my life and that of my family change for the better, but from the look of things, I'm losing hope. Over the years, she has worked hard to train her children in school to guarantee a better future, but the vision she hoped for and looked forward to looks blurry. Every day I go out and see all these beautiful houses. I pray to God to provide the same for my family or for my children in the near future. That is why I work hard to train my children in school for our life to improve for the better. Some young people between the ages of 30 and below lament that house rent takes more than 80% of their yearly income.
I think the most high is the house rent, because the house rent is really something else right now.
What we are getting is very little and everything is expensive.
To address the housing deficit in Abuja, an estate developer is suggesting that government partners with the private sector.
When it comes to housing within the city center, I can tell you the issue of affordability becomes a matter of class in terms of who can afford it in such a location and where. The government alone cannot take the responsibility solely to provide housing. They should partner, or they are supposed to partner with real estate developers in the private sector to be able to solve the issue of housing deficit in Nigeria.
The rapidly growing population and constantly rising inflation is dimming the hope of low-income earners that they can own a decent home. The population of homeless people in Abuja is projected to reach 5 million mark in the next 1 year due to high cost of living. Nana Muhammad, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions said there is the need for an increase in Tertiary Education Tax from 2.5% to 3% to improve research and development in the country. The committee, chaired by Senator Ahmed Baba Keita, made this submission during an oversight visit to Tertiary Education Trust Fund to ascertain the level of 2021-2022 performance of the budget. It also pointed out that education and health sectors were two critical sectors that drive development, hence the need for an upward review of the education tax. It urged the agency to incorporate the National Mathematical Center in its interventions, saying no country could thrive in the area of research, science, technology and innovation without embracing mathematics. The chairman also urged SETFund to expedite efforts in providing an oxygen generator requested by Kaduna State Polytechnic during COVID-19 in 2020. And now for a look at the foreign scene, where an explosion at a mosque in the city of Herat in western Afghanistan killed a high-profile pro-Taliban scholar as well as more than a dozen civilians. Images on social media on Friday showed what appears to be blood-stained bodies scattered around the mosque compound. There was no immediate claim of responsibility. The blast went off in the Guzarga Mosque during Friday noon prayers. And at least 7 people have been killed in intercommunal violence in Sudan's southern Blue Nile state weeks after large clashes in the area, according to officials. At least 23 others were injured in the latest bout of violence, which occurred in 2 parts of the state. The cause was still under investigation on Friday, the Blue Nile State Security Committee said. The committee also announced a curfew in 2 large cities in the Sudan area. Now for a look at sports, where Southampton midfielder Romeo Lavia is said to be out for at least 6 weeks with hamstring injury he sustained in Tuesday's 2-1 win over Chelsea. The 18-year-old Belgian equalised against Chelsea before being forced off in the second half. Lavia has started all 5 Premier League games for the Saints since joining from Manchester City this summer. He was one of 10 summer signings for the Saints, with 4 deals completed on deadline day on Thursday. Hassan Hutel revealed that Duje Kaleta Carr is set to miss Saturday's game at Wolves, but fellow new recruits Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Samuel Edozie and Juan Larios are all available to play. And to tennis now, where Serena and Venus Williams' glittering Grand Slam doubles career was brought to an abrupt end at the US Open on Thursday as the reunited sisters crashed out in the first round against Czech duo Lucy Hradecka and Linda Noskova. The Williams sisters, in what is almost certainly their final outing together as a Grand Slam doubles duo, slumped to a 7-6, 6-4 loss at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. The American pair, winners of 14 Grand Slam crowns and 3 Olympic gold medals, had not played together in a doubles tournament since 2018. And that wraps up Trans TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.